Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Good, I hope. Today I want to talk about a couple of things that I would do. Well, the first couple things that I would actually do to a turbocharged car for some go fast modifications. Again, these are my personal opinions. Everybody has the things they would rather do and this and that, and that's all fine. You know, I just want to let you guys know what me and Mr. Captain Deadpool would rather do. The first thing that I think that everybody should change, it's rather cost effective to change. It doesn't cost that much. The intake system first. Now you can go with a cold air intake, you can go with a short ram intake, or you can just upgrade the regular filter, the stock filter, with something like a K&N or a green filter or something like that. There's a few good options out there. First one that you should go with would be the cold air intake system. The cold air intake, it runs the tubing of the intake further away from the engine bay, so you get colder temperatures. The colder the air going into the engine, the more performance you're going to get out of it. Everybody knows that turbo cars run better in the colder weather. So that's what I would go with first. If I had to choose between a short ram intake and a K&N filter, I would probably go with a K&N filter. Just because, you're not going to get much of a difference from your OEM factory tubing and just putting a good, nice filter on the end of it versus a short ram intake. Short ram intake, it's going to leave, the filter out and exposed to those hotter engine temperatures. So really, you're not going to be doing much. The second thing I would suggest to go with would be to upgrade your exhaust. There's several things that you can look at when you get an exhaust. Number one is, what type of material is it made out of? Factory OEM exhausts are more than likely going to be made out of like a mild steel or something like that. Something that will corrode over time, which is not good. You want something that's going to last a long time. Most of the aftermarket exhausts are made out of a 304 stainless steel, which is good for longevity. It's good for cost efficiency, and it's good for corrosion. It holds up pretty good over time. You can polish it, which is a good thing. So definitely, you more than likely want to go with something that's a 304 stainless steel. The next thing in the exhaust that I believe a lot of people overlook that is kind of important is what kind of bends does the exhaust have? Does it have mandrel bends, or does it have the crush bend? There are some exhausts that do have the crush bend, and a lot of people don't know this, but the crush bend, what it does is it crinkles during the bends. It crinkles up, and what that does is it doesn't give you a consistent diameter on your piping, and you can lose power. And having a mandrel bend is definitely more superior because it's a smooth bend. It doesn't do those crinkling on the bends, and it also will give you a better exhaust note, which is always what everybody wants. Everybody wants a nice sounding exhaust. The reason that the exhaust is important is because it makes the pathway for the exhaust gases to exit the car more efficiently. And the more efficient your car can get rid of air and exhaust gases, the better a chance you're giving it at creating more. So, basically your engine is a giant air compressor. So you want good amount of air coming in, good amount of air coming out. That's basically what you're looking for, and you can make more power by doing that. Now, exhaust diameter is another thing that people kind of confuse sometimes. Like, they'll take naturally aspirated, 4-cylinder Honda, and they'll put a 3-inch exhaust on it, and they'll think like, oh man, I got a 3-inch exhaust, I'm doing a lot of good for my car. That is not always the case. You can go too big as far as diameter for naturally aspirated cars. A lot of people don't know that, but you can. On a turbo vehicle, you generally do want to go to a bigger size. Now, this is for turbo cars, Also, you do have the choice of going with turbo back, cat back, axle back. There are several choices you can go with. You can choose to have a catted downpipe, non-catted downpipe. So there's a lot of choices that you have when you're running a turbo car. It's just up to you. It's also, it depends on the emission laws in your state. Here in Florida, we don't have to take our cars to make sure they pass emissions and stuff like that. So you do need to check with the laws of your state of where you live, because you can be breaking the law. Most exhaust systems do say for off-road use only. We wouldn't want to use them for anything other than that, right? The next thing that I did after I did those first three things, I changed out my blow-off valve. Now, what the blow-off valve does is it helps release the pressure built up by the turbo whenever you let off the throttle. When you get on the throttle, the turbo spools up and it makes pressure. And when you let off your gas, that pressure's got to go somewhere. If not, it'll go backwards, and it'll make the turbo spin backwards, which is called compressor surge. You've got different types. You've got a blow-off valve that will 100% vent out. You've got a bypass valve, which recirculates 100% of the air back into the system. And then you have a hybrid valve, which will vent some and recirculate some. So you got to really look into what your car can run. This car here is running a bypass valve. Although you can hear it when it does recirculate the air, you can definitely hear it. It's not like you can't hear it. Another reason why I wanted to upgrade it, I looked at the factory piece, and it was just, it was cheap plastic. It was just, build quality was not very good, And the Boomba Racing that I got the anodized red one. It was made out of, stainless steel, and it was just superb build quality, and I got it for a really good deal. I got it when Boomba Racing was just starting out, so it was over $125 cheaper than the next recirculating valve that I had an option for, and it makes a cool sound, man. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people might say that it's a ricer thing to do. I don't give a damn. I love it. I love letting everybody know this car is turbo. I like that stuff. Some people like to be sleeper. Me, not so much. I don't mind leaving the outside looking sleeper, but when I shift, I like people to hear about it. So the next thing you're going to want to do is, if you are going to want to up the boost on your stock turbo, this car is running a stock Borg Warner KO3, which is relatively small, but this will boost up to 21 psi. It'll go up there in like third and fourth gear. It'll go up to 21 pounds. So there are turbos that can handle more than where they're at right now. So if you are wanting to up the boost before you do something like a big turbo upgrade or something like that, you are going to want to get an upgraded wastegate, because the wastegate controls the boost pressure by controlling how fast the turbo spins. So if you are wanting to up the boost with some sort of engine management or something like that, because you are going to have to bypass the computer of the car to do that, you are going to need an external wastegate or an actuator that will let you up the boost to whatever pounds you're going to want to go to. Factory boosted cars will have an external wastegate or an actuator that looks similar to what it does, like in this picture here. In this picture, it's that bronze piece on the bottom with that little tube that's running across. And aftermarket boosted car, they look similar to what they look like in this picture. This one is a silver tile wastegate, which probably can go up to like 30 something pounds, if you choose. So, this leads me to my last modification I would do. If you're putting all these things on your car, a lot of people think you just put stuff on cars, that's it. I got 10 horsepower by putting this intake. That is not the case, man. Your factory computer is going to compensate for whatever you're doing to the car. If it feels like it's running a little too rich, it's going to bring it back to factory levels. The computers are smart these days, man. They are running the car. You're just driving it, So you're going to have to get some sort of downloadable tuning solution. For this car, I want to get the Cobb access port, and the Cobb access port is like a handheld tuner, and what it does is it, plugs into the OBD2 port, and what that does is it basically downloads different air fuel maps, and it tells it this car has an aftermarket filter, it's got an aftermarket exhaust, so it tunes for that. So it's going to tune it to be looking for these new levels of performance that you're putting into the car. So, without tuning it, you're really not doing any different. You're running at the stock levels, but you're just breathing a little better. You're not actually feeling those gains unless you tune the car. So And guys, that's all I got. Those are my choices for what I would do, you know, with a turbo vehicle. Of course, everybody's got their own opinions, and that's cool. You know, I'm just letting you know what I would do. So, you know, with that said, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. You know, please like, share, subscribe, comment, give me video ideas, whatever you want to do. Just let me know. I will try to please everybody that I can. I am just starting out, like I said, and you know, I will be planning on upgrading my camera and microphone and all that stuff. So with your help, guys, I can do that. So that's all I got for you. Till then, I'll see you guys at the next one.